Hi, welcome to Ammosmith.com. Today we have a new piece of gear, and it's not this. This is my old Harbor Freight chop saw that I was using for cutting jackets and other materials for bullet swaging. And what happened was something stripped out in here and it just burned it up, and I had problems with the play on the little work vise here, and the thing just pretty much died on me. So I like making good bullets, and the bullets I'm making are getting bigger, so I needed to get something that's not going to fail, especially when I'm cutting thick copper tubing, or basically water pipe, for making bullet jackets. Or in the future here, I'm going to be using 8-gauge copper wire in order to make solid copper hollow points for the 223 or 220 switch, whatever. But I needed a saw that was a little more robust than this thing and a little more precision. So I bought a new saw. So I went ahead and got the Proxxon saw, which is this guy right here. It's a lot bigger and a lot more powerful too. And I've gotten a lot of questions from people about the quality of this saw on the forum. It's a really nice little saw. It's not cheap. This saw with the blades and everything was about 250 bucks. But if we look at the saw blade, it's a little bit thicker, and the only thing I don't like about this thicker saw blade is it removes more material. Not significantly more, but enough. But here's what I like. First of all, there's almost no play at all in the vise. And the vise opens and closes on both jaws. It's not one jaw is fixed and the other one is moving. It's on center, which is great. It has a nice stop on here, which is adjustable with an Allen wrench, and it has a little stop here. And I noticed with the stop is you have to move it out of the way, otherwise the saw will kick your material out of there and it'll bounce all over the place. And the question I got is, will this cut thick brass? And the answer is yes, it will. And I'm going to experiment, or not experiment, I'm going to demonstrate that to you right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of 50 BMG brass and I'm going to cut right through it. But a quick story here. When I first got it, what killed my other saw was this right here. Just 3/8 inch copper water pipe. The same kind of water pipe you would use to plumb for your refrigerator or under your sink or something like that. And it pretty much killed my Harbor Freight saw. So that put me out of business for a little while since my saw died. And then I waited a couple weeks for this to get here. And a couple features of this saw I really like. Not only is the vise and everything nice and solid, but this is what I really like. This whole part here traverses. This left or right. And it's pretty solid. And you can cut in 45-degree angles one way or the other. It's nice and solid, doesn't move around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of 50 BMG brass and I'm going to cut it in half. So let's go ahead and get that done. Alright, just like with anything else, what you got to do is make sure that you have eye protection on, especially with this thing. It doesn't throw a lot of metal around, but the potential of it is too high to take a risk on. So, it's a very neat little saw, and it's about as loud as any other power tool you're going to have on the shop. It's not too bad. The only thing about this saw is it's only good for softer metals. You can't use it on ferrous metals unless you get a special cutoff wheel. And this one is carbide tip tooth blade, something like 80 teeth per inch or something. So I'm going to go ahead and get this clamped in here real good. And where I'm cutting it, it's pretty straightforward here. I'm just going to cut right down near where wherever the case is. It's pretty thick down here, a lot thicker than it is up the neck. So, got my glasses on, and here we go. Boom, right through it. That's the 50 BMG case just chopped. I mean, it's done. There's almost no effort to it. When I first got this, I put that 3/8 inch tubing in there, and I thought I had actually missed the copper pipe. It felt no resistance going through it whatsoever. And if you notice, yep, a little bit of metal dust there. It cuts it at a decent pace, and it doesn't leave much of a burr on there either. The only burr is really at the bottom where it falls away. So as we can see, it's going to go through just about any amount of material you want to put it through. And that's really the only burr you're going to get on there. And the burrs that occur aren't really all that drastic. So I'm going to go ahead and close this up on this little piece of 3/8 inch tubing here. And with the little stop here, just pull it out the way, and it goes. If you notice, it didn't throw it. It just dropped it right down, which is nice. Sometimes a Harbor Freight saw would chuck it across the room or something. It's not that the little Harbor Freight saw is a bad saw. It's great for what it's designed for, but it's not a precision piece of equipment. And these little burrs here are easy just to tear right off. They also make an adapter for this, so you can fit different brands saw blades on here other than the Proxxon. So if you go to Proxxon.com, you'll find this little saw on there, and I went ahead and bought 2 extra blades. The blades are about $45 a piece, but as well as they cut, I don't think they're going to wear out on me anytime soon. So thanks for watching, and we'll be swaging some more here real soon.